So there I was, walking down an endless maze of was seconds, minutes, felt like hours and days, and eventually I got to a point where I felt like I just needed to recuperate, kind of be in cryostasis. It wasn't supposed to be for as long as it lasted, but what reawakened me in particular was the news of the anime, of course, getting a release date, hearing the outcry from fans, a lot of fans actually, and then also about the ending of Tokyo Ghoul, the fact that we are in the final arc and that the ending does draw near. Discussions started coming up like, how much longer do we have left on Tokyo Ghoul, which has been something that's been talked about for a long time. It's these particular seeds that triggered my reawakening. So here I am, Lucky Cheese 7, coming back again after a month, which again, it was my delay was not supposed to be this long. So I do apologize on that in advance. And of course, since we're here doing a Tokyo Ghoul podcast, you all know the drill at this point. Can't really do this by myself. So I had to go scour the world and find a trusty friend who I will let him do his introduction now.
Greetings, my fellow friends. It is I, Sparda, back again as a guest. And it has been a while. It almost felt like it died off somehow. But no, we cannot let it die. Especially we have the advent of these news, like the anime coming around beginning of April, which is sad. And the fact that the series, the fact that this part of the series, not the entire series, is coming to an end very soon, which my guess it will end before the latest, not the latest, the newest volume that's supposed to set to release on March 17, you said? Was it 17, 13?
I think it's 19th. March 19th, 17th or 19th.
Yeah.
One of the two.
It's around those dates. The point is, I do believe this part of the series is coming to an end. And now we're going to discuss that before it comes to that end. But yeah, it's been such a long time. Whatever happens to the podcast? Well, when was the last time we did the podcast, actually?
I think back in January? I believe it was back in January, yeah.
Well, it's not that far apart. It's not like we did it last year and then we finally come back for this year. So maybe it's not too long ago, but it does feel like it has been more than months. Maybe it was a month. I'm not sure.
At least a while. I can definitely say that. And, oh my god. Just like the last set of chapters, a lot happened. I mean, a lot happened. And we're going to talk about these things in order. So, to jump right out of the gate, let's talk about the QS Squad fight. That fight had its conclusion, and Mutsuki's outcome, rather interesting. Let me just say it like that. Rather interesting, at least for me in particular. Because I remember when I was reading it, when I was doing my live reaction, I didn't necessarily know how to feel. Like, I wasn't exactly pissed, but I wasn't like, oh, she's alive. But it was just a strange feeling, just seeing how far that she was able to go, and then just getting to this point with what Uri was able to do, with what Psycho was able to do. Like, from an emotional aspect, I think it worked. But I do see the other side where people are like, but she should have died. Like, she went too far cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Well, you're the one that said it to yourself, too. So
that's true. I know.
I see where you're coming from.
I sound like a hypocrite now when I say it like that. But see, that's the thing. Like, even though I was the one who was kind of like advocating, like, she has to die. In that moment when the chapter was going on, I'm like, I don't know how to feel. I just don't. It's interesting, at least for me, where I was like not on the train, but I was like, I don't really see her living. To now, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know exactly how to feel about the whole thing. Sparda, what about you?
Well, it's like I said before. I think it was the last podcast that we recorded. That, you know, when you look back at her track record, yeah, she was crazy. She done crazy stuff, but she never really done to the stuff that you can't go back on it. I mean, like realistically speaking, you can redeem yourself. It would just take a while, which is happening, which is taking a while. And maybe it will have to do a time skip to fix a lot of things, which could happen still. But the point is, it's not something that's irredeemable. You can't fix a lot. Like I said, if she really did went out of her way to chop you
Yoriko's
Yoriko's
hand.
hand off, yeah, if she really did that instead of just arrest her, which honestly speaking, it was the right call. It was just a dick move in her part because the timing of it, like, oh, let's have you marry to each other, and then I would just arrest her because I just want you be miserable spot, and I would just laugh it off. That's a dick move, but it's not like it's a wrong thing. It's just messed up timing. You know what I'm saying?
It
So
was.
you look, yeah. So like you again, if she was to do the whole, chopping the hand off of Yoriko, yeah, I could definitely see that would be hard to redeem. Like yeah, she killed Ghoul, but who hasn't killed Ghoul? Everybody's doing their job. CCG doing their job. Ghoul's doing their job as well, surviving, try to persevere. Everybody's doing a lot of things to themselves just to survive. That's all about. So a lot of things like those are, I wouldn't say redeemable completely, but there's something you could understand, you could comprehend. Like, yeah, you did all that, but you are doing your job, and your job is pretty much as a corrupted one, but so is mine. So it's kind of like we're even Steven on that end, which is sad, but that's the way how the world works in that series at least. So with Muski coming around, finally turning back to normal, not less, much less psycho than before, it's understandable. I mean, yeah, it kind of went a little quick, but the fact that her road to redemption is not taking a not it's not going by quickly, so that's a good sign. That's a good thing. You got like 2 chapters that she pretty much feels guilty about it, feeling guilty that she was doing a lot of things to Toka, and now she hasn't say anything, but but her expression says a lot of words. And then you got the recent chapter where she's trying to put all the guilt to herself because the fact that she made Aura follow her. It's not like Aura did it to himself. But it's like what I said before. Aura was just a follower, and he was following the wrong person. And Buski was willing to take the entire blame, but they have no time for that because they have a bigger predicament, and the time is bad because it's just a lot of craziness that's going on in the recent chapter. So going back with the whole Muski being taken care of, I thought it was handled well. I again, sure it went by quick. That's the only thing I could say. But I think in emotional aspect, especially the way how Udi delivered at the very end was really touching. I just love that speak to his own mind part. He was talking to Shirazu, like he would never fail again. I was like, damn, that really hit me right there, because he's because how much he's willing to pretty much take over the job and really protect the family that he wants protected. So it's like it has to have come into full circle, which is why it feels like a perfect closure. And if we do, and well, we are going to have a third part. Let's face it. So once we have a third part, we could have a whole new set of problems for these characters to develop. And the whole again the Q Squad. If you think about the entire run of Red, it's all about keeping together as a family, keep it together and develop together, and they did. It's sad that they lost one of them, but that's what it takes to get them, to start their path either for the better or for the worse. Muski could have gone much worse. She could have gone way deep into that point that she can't be redeemed, or the fact she would end up dying. Psycho, she would end up being this lazy, uh, scared, scaredy cat, whatever you want to say. But she grown a lot. She's taking her action on her own will. She is really strong. She is actually fighting. She actually cares now. Udi was a douche. He was he was pretty much a prick of the. He was pretty much the cancer of the family. In other words, he would be the one that would take down the family because of his incompetence. But he developed significantly so much that he ends up being my favorite.
Right?
Go figure. Yeah, so go figure. And
No,
Moose
and the thing is, we
is
bring
the
that up
one.
all the time with Udi because, like I
Mhm.
said, he was a piece of shit in the beginning, but then the further
Oh
you get,
yeah.
you're just like, wow. I mean, again, the biggest trigger out of them all was Shirazu's death, and when Heise at the time said it was your fault, you were the one being weak. Don't blame me for not being there. It was your responsibility. I'm like, shit. Like
Right. Exactly.
it was that specific moment.
But yeah, so it's amazing how much they have developed, and now it you could say it closed right here, and whatever the new set of problems that we'll have in the next arc, or the next chapter of the entire series, we'll see what happens. But be interesting for one of the characters. I guess we'll talk about soon. But other than that, yeah, this I thought that was handled well.
The other thing I also kind of I wanted to mention with the whole Mutsuki thing is during the fight, like you can tell like there were like inklings of like the old Mutsuki, but she was trying really hard to like push it aside. But it was Psycho and Uri who just kept pushing forward and just trying to bring that old side of Mutsuki out. And I thought the way how Ishida handled that, I thought that worked. And it kind of made me reflect on the whole thing because thinking about it realistically, like I think killing her would have been too easy of a choice when you think about it. So,
What do you mean by that?
well, too easy of a choice meaning that you would think like after everything that had happened with Mutsuki, like because if she was going crazy, it's like all right, so I guess the best possible route for Mutsuki is to kill her.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
you know, but instead, like
But
yeah, you have this
mhm.
route too, which is a route that has been done before. Make no mistake about that. But the way how Ishida manages to execute it, I think, worked.
I think what also works is that they didn't really yeah, they get their words out to her, but only towards the end when she's at the very 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 lowest point. Pretty much want to go suicide route. But
Yeah,
that's understandable because you gotta convince her at that point. If you don't convince her, well, shit, I don't know what's gonna happen. But thankfully, nothing goes down south from that aspect. But point is, it's like they keep pushing forward, but the more they push forward, not in terms of speaking, but in terms of like just showing them how much they are willing to take every hit from her because they just want her anger. They want all her feelings to finally throw out there because she was holding everything in. And what also works is that she's not the Muski wasn't really being like, I never see any problem with my D's. It's like, yeah, she always knew she always been the problem. She knew that she's always has been the worst case, but it's just that's her life. And she was just kind of seeking for salvation, I guess, from somebody to take her out. And the only option she has left is herself. So she was like, you know what? Nobody's gonna kill me. The only person that could do it is myself. And she was about to do it, and then that's where they come in and they just blurted out, "It's like you dumbass. Do you understand why we're here? We understand why we're doing this." And it finally hits her because it's like she felt like she has no moral support, or she felt like she doesn't deserve one because of her lunacy, her psychoness, her problems, her mental problem. And it doesn't come off like I'm just crazy because I don't know, I'm just am, she still has her own problems. She still has her feelings in there. It's just that she never have the time or never have the opportunity to lash out, which she finally did, but with her own family, no less. So that was the appropriate timing to do so. So everything went well.
I'll say this: I'm kind of curious seeing where they're gonna go. I'm really curious seeing like because we both kind of know there's gonna be a part three. Like I think that much is pretty much guaranteed. So seeing where they're at right now and where they could go in part three when we do see it is gonna be kind of fascinating. Definitely fascinating to see.
Yeah.
But we can talk about the QS stuff all day, and it was like I said, kind of strange, but Ishida pulled it off well, and I give him mad respect for that. But let's get to the meat of the podcast, which is going to be Kaneki in his inner mind with Rize. Oh my god. That I don't know about you, Sparta, but I was getting the Anteku raid vibes. Like when you had Kaneki in his inner mind, like talking with Rize, like I was getting flashbacks of that during these, what was it, 3 chapters, I think? 157, 158, 159, I think. I think it was that 3.
Yeah, 3 chapters long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3 chapters long. It was heavy stuff.
It
But it's
was.
stuff that I really, really loved it. I really loved it because it's like, here's the funny thing. Honestly speaking, I like once Dragon was born, right?
Mhm.
And not that, but we'll get to that soon.
Yeah,
But
we're gonna get to that.
but when Dragon, I'm quoting now, it was born. When Dragon was born, everything was going like bad. Well, it's going south because Tokyo was getting killed. Tokyo, but you know, the civilization was getting wiped out. People are like panicking. And then a lot of uphill stuff was happening. You got Ghoul and Human, the CCG united. They're actually working together, which is unheard of. You got surprisingly Kano off himself, but for the better, actually it is for the better. For God's sake, this guy was a freaking crazy lunatic. Even though I want him to suffer, I wanted him to suffer, but the bastard got away easily, if you ask me. But whatever. Point is the fact that things were going uphill. You got the Q Squad united. You got a lot of grudges, old grudges, let it bygones, bury the hatchet, handshake, whatever, from the CCG and the Ghoul. You got a lot of people actually finally condemn themselves, make a retribution to a lot of people. All the Q Squads survive, even the new ones, which is good. You know, a lot of things seems like a upside thing. So naturally, when it comes to the mind game, you know, it starts off like very eerie because you got Kaneki not understanding what's going on. He's trying to swim to possibly endless ocean, and then he only finds a lot of corpse underwater, and then he was called murderer. And that was like, oh shit, this is going to be bad.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah, so it did happen. It did happen that way, but not entirely negative. Like, I'm back to Shiro Neki, whatever how you call him again. It's not like because that would be like it's cool that would be that seems kind of redundant at this point. So don't do that. But what my main fear was because of all those happy uphill battle they're going through, even though they are in the right tone, because they didn't go shonen level of cheese factor. So I actually sort of predicted that I don't know, either Toka, Rize, not Rize, that's the point. Not Toka, Hide were to show up as an imagination, just fight off Rize. No, you're wrong. You cannot taunt Kaneki. You cannot tell him that what he's doing is a murder. Everything is fine, Kaneki, you know?
Oh, that
And
would
then
have
it's
been
like,
so cliche if
right.
that would actually happen.
Exactly. It would have been like the worst thing that could have happened. That a lot of people would probably think, yeah, what the hell is this?
Like the
Even I
Tokyo
would
Ghoul just
say
goes
that too.
shonen route.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, we're like, hold my hand for in a good way, you know, as in like, oh, we're friends, not comma this, not comma that. Hey, Riza, you're wrong. Or Riza, you may be right in certain part, but guess what? I got friends and they are with me. You cannot tell me that I am wrong. Something like that. And then you come back out of Dragon. Well, he can't come out of Dragon, but you'll be waiting. Then Toga finds him. Happy United, the end. Even though we completely ignore V, Fruta, clowns, everything else, but who cares? The end. So I actually thought that was gonna happen, but what we got, way better,
Oh
way
yeah,
better than my
way better than
expectation.
what than what was happening because I thought the same thing. I'm like, I hope this doesn't go down that approach, and I'm like, okay, good, we didn't go down that approach.
You're wrong,
We could have
Rize.
easily gone the Naruto Obito route.
That mixed with QB, the part where it was like, "Hey, Kurama, we're gonna fight each other, and I'm gonna convince you that I am doing what is doing is righteousness." So let's do it, all right? All right, fight. You know, I thought Kaneki would fight Rize for some reason. Fight. All right, now you understand my will, the will of a human and a ghoul united. Yay! The end. So no, that
No, it
exactly
didn't
did
go
not
down
go
that
that well.
approach.
Whew.
Right. We dodged an iceberg, so we're good.
Oh God, we did. Yeah. Oh my God. You're wrong. Kaneki is right. I don't know. I honestly thought that was going to happen. Believe it or not.
Or you have like a past version of Rize show up. You're like, no, I am the real you. I'm like, no, let's not go. Let's not do
Oh God, don't do that. I mean, if that's going to happen, it has to happen to herself, not to what's going on there.
that. Like,
That'd be too much. You have no friends, Rize. That's why I win. I don't know. Does anybody realize how this? You know, it's weird. How how I never realized my first and should have been the first ass pool of my lifetime. Like I forgot what was the ass pool that I said that was the first ass pool I ever witnessed. It was from Pokemon anime. I don't remember which part again. But now I think about it, I think the true first one was actually Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'm not even talking about the card game battle. Rather, I'm talking about what happened when Pegasus finally outwitted Yami and they put him in the Shadow Realm or Hell. They put him in Hell. He did everything. Yami got weak. Or not Yami. Yugi got weak. His mental mind got weak. Everything was setting up for Pegasus to actually look into his card, read his mind, and boom, game over. And then the greatest ass pull that could have happened for Tokyo Ghoul. The greatest ass pull is for some reason his friends, Taya, Tristan, Joey, all came to his mind and blocked the path from the Millennium Eyes.
oh yeah,
That is ass pool. I didn't even remember. I forgot about that. But now I remember that is the pure definition of ass pool. Because fine, the card game, there was no set rule. That I'm willing to forgive. But that part, what I just said, the friendship literally blocked the path of the Millennium Eye. Bullshit.
like okay,
That
you
is,
want a fairy
you
tale
thought fairy
moment?
tale was
That's
bad?
literally a fairy tale moment in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh my god. How I forgot about it. And because of remembering that, I kind of computed with Tokyo Ghoul, thinking like Hide, Toka, Shu, Hinami, everybody would just block the path from Rize. You cannot tell them what to do. You cannot make them into a ghoul. You would never touch him again. Something. So because of that, I had a hunch that was gonna happen. But instead, we got a much realistic and relatable note. But yeah.
People would have been
Oh
like,
god, I can't
"What
believe that
happened
happened.
to Ishida? Like, what are you watching? Some Yugi versus Pegasus?" Yes, that's exactly what happened.
His Twitter would be flooded with hate comment. He probably had to close his Twitter and this time for good rather than whatever that moment happened, which everybody got really worried and spread the random rumor saying like, oh, because the fan was irritating him so much that he was heartbroken. It was a lot of craziness that was going on. I remember his Twitter account was closed. Everybody thought he quit because we bully him, something like that. It was weird. But again, I thought that was gonna happen. I honestly thought that was gonna happen. You're wrong, Rize. Because we were on the uphill battle. Again, Q Squad, they all reunited. Nobody died. Everybody turned good again. Or straight again, in terms of mental. The ghoul and human are united. Everybody's let it be bygone. Everybody say their sorries in a different subtle way, but it works. Everything felt good. And then when Kaneki comes, what's good? So that's the moral of the story.
I think the thing that really got to me with this particular moment, and I am talking about like, the three chapters in general, was the outlook that Kaneki had, because he's hearing all the things from Rize because he's not exactly so sure about it. But then she brings it up, and he's just like, "Oh my god, I did this shit! Like, it's my fault." And then, like you're seeing a psychological battle going on between Kaneki and Rize, and it was just it was beautiful. It was honestly just like really beautiful. And then when they're having that moment, like, when they're sitting down, and when Rize asks Kaneki, like, what he's gonna do, and he says he's gonna cross the sea and he's gonna make it back to the real world and reunite with her one. Like, that's what he wants to do. And I'm like, all right, that's perfect. At the same time, though, I'm kind of wondering, like, there's got to be something different about him, at least this time. Like, when he wakes up, there's got to be something different. Because I think we all kind of know every time something hits Kaneki at the low point, he always comes out stronger, be it better or worse. I mean, like, I guess we can say that, like, when he lost to Forta back in 143, he got stronger, yeah, but in a very negative sense because he affected everybody in Tokyo, and the Kagane became, well, the giant, what we all assumed was dragon, like, wrapped around the building, and, like, all the Kaganes are, like spreading around and stuff, and it's like Tokyo was, like, a mess. So, getting to where we're at right now, with Kaneki, like right before we touch 160 and 161, what do you think's gonna happen with Kaneki, Sparta?
You talk about like after 161?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to.
Oh no, I was gonna say specifically like after 159 because it's kind of a no-brainer that he isn't necessarily awake yet.
No.
So.
I do think he's going to come up if he ever wakes up, which he will. Once he wakes up, I do believe he will be a much better person. He probably be the best person, the best Kaneki you will get. A person that will actually accept his past mistakes, his past actions, his deeds, his kills, his all the decisions, everything about him. And you go backtrack every character moments he has. They're all different, which makes it very relatable and makes it very enjoyable to see how his journey goes through. Like, it's always different. It's not really that much of the same. A lot of people seems to think it's the same, but in reality, when you really think what is the focus, when you think about what is the different section of a character's mentality. Like, for example, where before Dragon happened, before that craziness that happened around 145, 144, it was the whole, the Avengers meeting with the entire Kaneki groups. But those are all the personality, all the Kaneki's mental states that they were in. One was like a blunt, didn't give a shit about anything, which is the best Kaneki, which I kind of still wish we had longer, but oh well. We have the Kaneki that's super innocent and think it's too gullible for his own good. It's like, look, if we go back in time to kill Shizuya right there, boom, we would have been A-okay today, right, guys? That's very naive beyond belief, but that's how he was. And you got the original Kaneki who's just pretty normal. Then you got the Kaneki that was code number, I forget the number already, but he was like way out of his mind, always completely depressed. He has a lot of different state, but that's how his character works because he went through a lot of different journey. He went in a lot of different mental situation. So, you got that one-eye king Kaneki, but he wasn't ready. So there was a lot of conflicting issue he was as a leader because again, they just threw him was Eto and Arima just throw him a huge bag to fill in, and he can't do that because he wasn't that ready. So you got, when he was defeated, the problem still remains, the whole trust issue, or like the fear thing he has that problem. He also has the problem of like trying not to break the code because again, even though he didn't think too much about, well, we could try to have Ghoul and human united, he's still trying the best he can to make out of it. And the best out of it he's trying to do is to never kill a human, never harm a human, never go low to kill anybody because everybody has to be, peaceful. So when that failed, he just decided, you know what? Screw everything. The hell with everything. We have to step forward. We have to take risks. We have to do whatever it means necessary in order to get my own goal, my own wish, or whatever wish for anybody. So that's where he started to devour the entire old guy and then become that. But people think like, why he's backtracking? He's not backtracking. The thing is, he was moving forward. His main problem is the fact that he doesn't accept the problem, accept the action he has done, which has been like that for every Kaneki. So that one thing he always never really established is his past action was his own fault. Because the way how he's telling Rize, he was saying like, I didn't know I killed all guy. I didn't know that was you, technically speaking. Oops. It's like you can't be like, oh, if I didn't know better, that means it's okay to kill them. But if I knew better, whew, that would have been terrible of me. It's like, no, what's done is done. You killed them. That's the end of
And there's no
story.
going back on that.
Yeah, there's no going back on that. You killed them because you killed them. Even if you do know it was like, oh, that was actually part of me. So what? It's too late now. You're not gonna be like, oh, it was you, it was part of you. Oof. If I knew better, I would say that would be very evil of me. No, you still did it. Doesn't matter. So what's done is done. So that was the thing that he always been fighting against Rize, is that his past action was trying not to be accepted, as well as his action, as well as the action of the future. Like, one of the thing I really like is the fact that they actually address that his idea to make peace comes off not 100% selfless. There's some selfish in there, because the fact he was going to weaken CCG, and then when they all weaken, they would surrender and they would come to his demand. That's dictating right there. Even if it's not dictator, the fact is it's not 100% good. It's not pure, but it's the way that he thought it was right. And if that's the way he thought is right, you should go for it, because why the hell not? That's your decision. But then he started to think, oh shit, no, that's not a good thing. That doesn't make me pure. Why? And that was the problem, because he was being very selective. He was trying to find what's considered right or what's considered correct, even though he really doesn't know it. And Riza calls him out every part of he tried to do. Oh, I know what to do. We should do this instead of like going that route. Or I instead of killing them, we should actually try to make peace out of them. I got an idea. And when I come back, we will have a good discussion and we could make a truce, But again, he doesn't know where he belongs. He doesn't know what he's trying to do. And the breaking point was the fact that all this time, he just wants to be wanted, which is very much of his character. That was the conclusion he finally gave in, that he just wanted to be wanted and by any means necessary. And he has to fight and fight and fight and fight until somebody say, hey, that guy seems important. I want to challenge him. That's the only way he could get. That's the only thought he can think of to get some notice, which is sad, but that's his character. And what makes it, like such a wonderful moment was that when he's like finally coming to realize that, his purpose of life actually hasn't been so bad. He sees a lot of things bad, negative, and everything, but in reality, there are some good, and that's just how life is. You get some good, you get some bad. It's just how it is. You're never gonna have 100% pure. You're never gonna have 100% darkness. I mean, unless you really want to go that route. But 100% good, that's just near, if not.
That's really too impossible. Idealistic.
Yes, it's too yeah, exactly. That's the word I was looking for. Damn it. But so yeah, that was his main problem. He was too idealistic. So now he finally recap his life, because the thing that Riza asked, why is it that I hate you so much for causing my life to go straight to hell, but you don't hate me for making your life straight to hell? Why is it that? And that's where he comes to realize, I actually have a life that makes me happy, because he met people that he would never expect to make friend of. He made friends with Ghoul. He made some friends with human. He has a wife that's a Ghoul, but he's about to have a child. Hopefully everything goes well. He's a king. He's noticed. He's loved. So all this time, he actually has something good. He actually had that happiness that he pretty much blindsided
since chapter
all
1
this time. Yeah, but now he finally realized he always have that happiness. Instead of like, oh, I gotta protect any means necessary, or like being way too overprotective for it. Instead of like trying to think too much of ahead of the future, or trying to be too perfect, too pure, what you got is perfect enough. It's good, because you got something good. You got something that actually that pretty much says, hey, look, you're a human, or you're a Ghoul, whatever. It doesn't matter. You have a life, And that's good. Make good out of it. Make the best out of it. So now he finally got to that realization. He started to like he's finally accepting the fact that yeah, I kill a lot of people. It's not to say like, oh, I kill people, I'm good with that. But it's more like, you know,
Like he's come to terms of like what happened, and he's willing to accept that decision,
right.
but yeah, also trying to
Right.
move forward and trying to be better.
Right, exactly. Because like when the people were started to when people were falling from the sky, which is pretty much saying like he's killing more people, he wasn't looking like, oh, that's not happening. That's not me. That's dragon. That's all dragon, not me. But then when he comes to realize, yeah, I got a good life. I'm actually happy with my life. Then he started to see people falling because it's like, yeah, I'm killing them. It sucks, which is why I'm getting out to stop that because he's accepting it now. He's accepting everything he sees because that's his life. That's how it should be. And then he goes to the endless journey, and we don't know when he's gonna wake up.
No, we don't. We do
Ooh.
not know when he's going to wake up, which is something, which is a topic we're actually going to save for the very end. The whole thing with Rize was actually again, and I know I said it earlier, but it was beautiful, and I like how Ishida was able to incorporate her back into like Kanagi's like inner mind because it wasn't like just like it happened out of nowhere. The main source behind that was because of Kaneki eating the Ogai, and the Ogai themselves had Rize's Kagho. I think that's what it was, if I remember correctly. I think that's what it was. So
Talk about her Kagane.
there we go. Yeah, the Kagane. It was because of that
Kagane type.
specifically.
Go on.
It was because of that specifically being the key reason as to why she's there and like why she's having the conversation with Kaneki, and it worked. It just really worked. And I know we mentioned it, but seeing what Kaneki's going to be like when he wakes up is going to be interesting. It's probably the best way I could say it right now.
Yeah, definitely gonna be interesting. Oh boy, it's definitely gonna be interesting.
Especially like with Hide there, like when he sees Hide, he's going to be like, "Oh, when did you get here?" Matter of fact, we need a 2-chapter. Well, I don't know if we need 2 chapters, but like at least a chapter flashback as to like what happened, because Ishida continues to dodge the question.
Which question you talk about?
Yeah, you know about how Hide survived.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, that's still one of the biggest mystery of his survival. Like, how in the world he survived? I
Exactly.
still want to know that myself.
And I
That's true.
guarantee you, it's gonna be when Kaneki wakes up. I'm certain that's when we're gonna get it.
Yeah, it seems like a good timing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping it would be good timing around 161. Have the condition didn't be like that, but since the condition is like that, I guess we might be safe for the next series, part of the chapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So that's what it seems like. Shame, but I guess we gotta wait.
it is what it is.
Unless it would just reveal out of nowhere. Oh, by the way, I survived because of this and this and now.
I
I
would
mean,
have
maybe
like,
it could happen.
I would be like, okay, that's really good, but it would have been better if you had it planned right here just to make it more impactful. But we'll still take it.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see what happens. You never know.
Definitely. So yeah, the last thing we see Kaneki doing is like just swimming towards the sea of blood and just getting back to the mainlands. That's all he's going to do. Dark Knight Rises style. Dark Knight Rises style. Except he's not crawling out of a pit. Let me be specific about that.
Unless he really did drown, and that's why he looks dead. That would be some messed up ending.
It would actually. It's like, oh look, the bomb's about to go off, and then like Kaneki just randomly comes back. It's like, how did you get back? Yeah. Dark Knight Rises. Anyway, then we get to 160. And here's the thing. I thought we were getting back to present day, but it's the outline of the page. Like, it's in black, so all these things already happened, just based on the outline itself.
Unless it's just like that. But yeah, I don't blame you for thinking that is the case of a long flashback. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just for the effects of this moment is so dreary, dark. But if it's not, then
It
wonder
could be that too. I guess it's also because like we're just so used to seeing like if it's like a black outline, it usually means the flashback. So it could just be that
I
too,
blame Naruto for that.
right?
Always see that every single page. Why? Because, well, it's Naruto.
You can think part two.
Naruto and their Naruto and their endless flashback.
60% flashback. Guarantee. Well, I don't know if it's 60%, but
Well,
40.
I still remember there was just a one chapter with nothing but flashback. Well, like one chapter was like 60% flashback. The only thing you got is this guy saying like, "Why are you here? Why did you desert me? Why could you do this?" Oh, because I want to find the power to kill my own brother. And then look how fast I am. And then you have to wait for the next chapter.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I was like, wow, that was it. Just a large flashback, 4-page length. And then we finally get some new content that only shows how fast he got.
Like that's it. That's all you wanted to show.
Four page of flashback.
hmm
Unbelievable.
So yeah, blame Naruto, folks. Blame Naruto for the flashbacks.
Yes. Oh boy. Anyway, back to this.
Yeah, getting back to this. So we see some of the, I'm assuming these are CCG members, taking out, and I don't know exactly what to call these guys, cognate creatures?
I don't know. I call them clones for no reason. I just call them clones.
Clone.
They probably have a name for all we know. Maybe we just missed out on one of the volumes, or maybe the next volume we say, "Oh, these are called cognate monsters." I don't know, something.
Consters.
Anyways,
I don't know.
yeah.
I could do that actually. So yeah, we're seeing them taking down these monsters, and then we see Mori, someone we haven't seen in a while, just like
Yeesh.
at one of the camps, like looking over at Dragon, like, all right, how much longer is this gonna take? And then
It's
we
been
see
72 hours, I think.
yeah, 72 hours. Yeah, because I think the chapter opened up with what was it, 72 hours ends or something like that.
Something like that, yes.
I think that's what it was. And then we get the chapter title, which was Kneeing, and we see Toka after a while. I'll have to say that it's been a while.
It's been like six or seven chapters, yes.
At least that much.
Well, yeah, especially we had a Christmas and New Year break, so yeah, it's been a while.
Mhm. So we see Toka using the metal detector, and then when she finally scans something, she like rips through the cognate creature. And here's the thing: Toka's still pregnant, and to seeing what she can do is like, and I know I say the same thing, but it's crazy to see what she can do, even with pregnancy going on. That's wow. You got anything you need to say?
No, you got your thoughts is my thoughts is the same. I mean, like, it's funny because I was gonna like say a lot more in my review, like say a lot of praises for her because I made a post that pretty much says everything. I made a one small discussion say like, hey, why are you a fan of Toka? Well, my good friend, just read this chapter and you will know your answer. The
Mhm.
end. That was the entire conversation. Pretty much pinpoint why. I mean, this chapter is like I said. It's like I said in the beginning. How do you please me? Well, you just have this type of chapter, a silent chapter with Toka as the focus. Boom, as an easy winning formula.
It is, and it dropped during the week of Valentine's Day. So I was like, oh, that's actually kind of nice.
Which I forgot to make that joke, but that bypassed me. Unfortunately, I'm like, ah, damn, I forgot to make that joke.
I hate it when that happens too.
I know. Oh, damn it. But it was funny because like again, I was going really thoughtful on like what to say about this chapter. I almost wanted to do a comparison too, like to the other series. I was like, why I'm but way more forgiving for this, or not even forgiving. There's like nothing to forgive because this moment was awesome. This moment was excellent, wonderful. I don't know. I could go deep end, but the other series that's like I guess you could say it caters too much on the romance side. It bothers me for some reason. Not this chapter. I'm talking about the other series chapter. If it comes to that. But why does this doesn't bother me? Mainly because
It just feels more natural.
it feels more natural, and the fact that it uses expressions, the emotions, without saying any words, it has way more stronger storytelling in their regards of their romantic relationship because that's we already know they're married, we already know they're lovers and all that stuff. We already know that, but even so, this whole moment that happened in this chapter, it just speaks a lot of volume. It's like I don't know. I try not to go too much deep into it because I already discussed this with the review, but nevertheless, this chapter was just like a beauty of his own.
It was. Like, especially, like, when you're seeing, like, Toka, like, just continually, like, digging through and then seeing the hand, and then she sees the ring, she's like, "Oh, shit," like, he's close. And still pushing through, digging and digging. But I'll say this, the hand was kinda creepy. That's for sure. And again, she saw the ring, still going forth. Then she sees Kaneki. Well, his
Oh,
unconscious body, I should say. I should mention
mhm.
that, like, there was some of those cognate creatures that popped up because she was trying to dig through. There's that.
Right,
So
right.
that's one thing to mention.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, it was the last chapter, and we are we are skipping a lot of things. Even though, even though if you have read it, you would know how much this chapter really means a lot in terms of her character and the way how it expressed the such emotional weight to it. Like, again, we're not doing justice, but it's like I said, it's hard to do these type of chapters justice because this is one of those visual storytelling, and you just have to see it for yourself. And if you do see it for yourself and you do understand it, then you would know why it's such a beauty. But we can't do any justice because we're not only skipping some parts, like as we just said, but we're not describing it as perfect as it was demonstrated. But
Hmm.
that's hard because it's like
It really
because
is.
like even yeah, I mean like yeah, even if we could try to describe it in a very novel, high class writing level in terms of like put your head to it, imagination land, we still can't do it. It's
No.
again, you got to see it for yourself to be I don't know. I can't find the right word. Compel, I guess, for the lack of a better word. There was a better
Mhm.
word for that, but yeah. So maybe if this was the chapter that we're discussing as it to be the recent one, we would have gone a lot further into it.
We would
We
have.
do have we do have one other one that we really got to talk about. So yeah.
And see, that's one thing I was gonna bring up is that halfway through, I realized that we didn't get any dialogue, and to quote what you said, like, it was beautiful, and I don't think there's any other way you could have done it, because, I mean, okay, sure, like, you could have added the dialogue, you could have added, like, something cheesy for Toga, like, saying, "No, I can't give up, I can't," like, you could have added shit like that. You could have.
Is exactly.
But the thing is, you didn't. And I think it really benefited that way. It really did. And it's like I've been thinking, it just honestly worked. There's no better way of saying it than just that.
Mhm.
So that's that.
Take note. Take note. Wow, a specific mangaka that I won't name out loud, but hopefully that person will take that note. Um, I mean, I know the romance is one of the driving force, but for the love of God, don't make it corny beyond corns.
Yeah, don't
uh,
do that.
well, I won't expose which series I'm talking about. Maybe Lucky she get the understanding. I think I don't even know he knows. Oh God, maybe we'll see. All I'm saying is this: don't cheese up the factor. Just let it go. Let it be how they supposed to naturally act. If they are naturally act that way, hell, maybe if you put a G Gundam, I wouldn't mind too much. But still,
The funny thing is, I can actually kind of see that.
Kaneki, I love you. I forgot how the whole speech goes. I thought the speech was fine, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe I have a soft spot for it.
Mhm.
But that would be weird. All right, we're gonna fight dragon together. I'm like, can you now? Wonder how.
Seriously.
Where's your burning fist?
Uh,
Burning finger, I mean. Anyway, we're losing track. Point is, it was awesome. It was amazing. It was speaks louder than any volume of words. And then we got the ending with Kadeki finally being found by Toka. So
and
even
then
better.
also Toka and Mutsuki like exchanging like a glance at one another after she and the other QS squad saved her, and you can
Yes.
easily tell that they're still not on good terms, obviously, because I'm pretty sure that the fight was like, I don't know, and it could be stretching, but 20, 40 minutes ago, maybe. Something like that.
But it should be like that though. Can't be like, it can't be like they're already best of friends in a matter of a
No.
second. If that would have happened, I would have been like, okay, let's push it now.
It would
You
have
just
been like, and I know we've been bringing it up in the podcast, but it would have been like the war arc from Naruto. You know, like when Neji got killed, and then we got the famous coolest guy ever.
I love that term. That's my favorite meme, if it is a meme. But
I
it's
think
my
it
favorite
is.
one. It's my favorite one because God knows that is the lowest point that you could ever forgive a villain, forgive somebody who has literally just killed your friend on the exact same day that you just said that line. It's amazing.
Mhm.
It's freaking amazing. If it was the other, maybe if it, no, I can't even say that. Well, I'm being way too generous. If I were to say maybe if your friend didn't die in the same day, you could say that line. No, that's just too
Oh,
much.
that would have been way too generous. Considering that the same guy also
uh,
killed your parents too.
oh my god. Anyway,
Back.
backtrack. Let's get back into focus. Seriously now. Let's
we
get back
we
into focus.
we should, yeah.
Hmm?
So she finds Kaneki, and oh my god, let me just say this: that final panel screamed a lot. It did.
Yes, yes, I wanted to use that for my thumbnail, but that would be too spoily. So I didn't do that. Instead, I did that inside the review, so you could appreciate the moment, which I did.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it would have been kind of interesting. It's like she finds him, and it's like he kind of opens his eye, but it's like okay, still works for what it was. I'm like,
Yay!
yay! The two are back together, kind of, because we get 161, and I'll be honest, I was scared because of the title. The
Oh, you know,
because the chapter title was called "Come, You Sweet Hour of Death." I'm like, oh no! I'm like, Ishida, don't you?
that's the funny and sad part. Like 160, I didn't understand what keening would mean. So I'm just gonna read a chapter. Right. So 160 ended with Kaneki being found. Yay! Seems like a happy ending. So 161. Before I got to read it, I see that damn title. I'm like, oh shit, no. So I got incredibly scared. I okay. Even though obviously I'm exaggerating, but just looking about the title, I would have a panic attack. Just because it's like, oh god, no, no, no,
Like,
we're
please,
doing
anything but
fine.
that.
Don't do
Anything
this.
but that.
We're
I'm
doing
like,
fine. What are you doing?
it's like we already had a 143. I can't go through another one of those. Thankfully, that chapter title had a different meaning, and I appreciated that a lot more. Actually,
Hey, more.
I, I mean, shit, you want a red herring done right. This is it. Honestly,
Yeah. Oh man, a lot of people really thought that. It's funny because I actually stumbled upon the discussion, and a lot of people really thought he has died. Now, granted, maybe they're right. I hope not. They better not.
right?
But yeah, like even though the chapter title wasn't really what we thought, like I said, the third page from that website, or second page, depend. Okay, basically, it's technically the second page. Second page really, really was eerie. Like
It was.
eerie.
It really was.
It's like it's not like we're seeing a body that's like sleeping. Like you could just pass along and say like, "Oh, that person's sleeping." We're seeing like a decomposed body that really gives a very disgusting feeling. That's like, oh, if people were to have a weak stomach, I wouldn't blame them if they started to feel nauseous because it does really look dreary. Like second page has a strong effect of like what we're seeing is not the fact that we're seeing, hey, Kaneki is funny out there. He's funny, been found. It's more like we found Kaneki, but
I mean, he
this
almost kind
is
of looks. He was
very
kind of crystallized too.
like honestly, the last panel, or actually the panel reactions from the first page says it all. It says completely everything that we all pretty much will react if we were to see a body in real life.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Definitely.
stun. It's just complete stun because because his body, I would have believed he's dead too. If you would have told me, hey, new chapter came out, Kaneki is dead. And then I would have seen the second page, I would have been like, oh shit, he's right.
You're
He
right.
wasn't lying. I thought he was just joking because I wasn't laughing. I would have been like super upset. I'm looking at it like, yeah, he looks dead. I mean, he's not dead. I still think he's not dead, but he looks really awful. Like the worst thing you could ever see for Kaneki, if anything, the worst. Like,
Right. Definitely. Like,
yeah, it's
whew.
I think it makes it much eerie just to see his like his eye. His eye is actually still open, but it's dead eye. So it's like even weird, even more uncomfortable to look at him. It's like I don't know. It's I can't find the right word, but it's just
I will say, like, his body does look a little interesting in the way that it was kind of crystallized in some sense.
like
Like,
a Titan style. No.
well, I mean, you can kind of tell from like the upper side anyway.
Yeah, I know.
That's one thing. But does he still have no legs underneath? Because the
Yeah,
way
I'm
he's
actually
drawn,
I think he don't I don't think let me see. Give it a double check.
because I'm looking at the Patreon and I'm like, hold on, because his arms still look almost the same as they were like from 143, unless
I don't think he ever regenerated his arm or legs.
no, okay, yeah.
I think yeah, he doesn't have arms or legs, so
Mm-hmm.
no, actually he has arm, but it looked like it never fully regenerated. Same thing for the
Okay,
legs.
yeah, I can see it now because there's like a little bit of an arm, but it's not like fully.
Like he doesn't have hands. That's from the look of it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have hands. He has arm, but never fully recover. Same thing for the legs. That's for the feet wise.
Yeah.
At least that's how it's imaged. Maybe if the next chapter isn't completely focused on those two, maybe we'll get to see the full body again. But this time we'll probably see like complete detail, legs, arms, everything. We'll see.
Definitely. We will definitely see what happens. Because as this whole thing's going along, we're at the base, or at least like at the campsite, and the announcement said, we found the main body, then you got Marde, so what's the status update? And then they give the update, like, he doesn't appear to be moving, keep an eye on his state. Then Kimi says, there's no telling what will happen, expect the unexpected. Finally, some help. Everyone's like kind of relieved.
Cheering.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then you see Hide, and Hide's expression kind of just stuck out to me with the chapter because he wasn't celebrating and he wasn't disappointed. He was just like, "Is this like definitely concerned?" At least to me, it looked like he was like concerned and like in deep thought about it. At least with the two panels that were shown with them in. But what's your take on like Hide's expressions like within the chapter?
I think his priority sets it different from everybody else. Cause like, when they say they found the main body, it doesn't appear moving, people are cheery. Well, yeah, the people are like saying finally some hope. Yay, like, yeah, we might finally end Dragon. He is like, well, that's cool and all, but my best friend Poverty is dead. Don't you think that's pretty best stuff right there? No? Fine, whatever. That's the impression I'm getting. It could be a different impression. Like, maybe it's something much different than I expected, which I didn't think, but it could. But right now, I'm sticking to like the fact that like he just hearing that his best friend may not be alive, and if that's the case, doesn't feel like a complete win for his on his end.
No, it
Seems like
doesn't.
well, at least it's like well, at least I got Dragon out, but I did just finish saying, "Oh, I came here to save my friend because we're like best friend forever." So what the hell?
No, like
That would
he's
suck
like
if he does
it.
end up dead. Yeah. So yeah, it does seem like it would suck if he does die here. And the second expression is pretty much continue off what I'm saying because expression he was pretty much saying like he pretty much had that look of like holy shit, Kaneki is in that bag or wrapped around like a corpse. I think your best friend has died. Well, we're about to find out soon, but it's not looking good.
No, it isn't. And I mean, And in between those two panels, like we have like the QS squad, and we have like Toko trying to get his body out, and I know we mentioned it earlier, but we do have like this little moment between Mutsuki and Uri, which was nice. I'm not gonna lie, it was actually really nice to hearing Mutsuki say, he was just following me, and that's why Uri, like, even though he wants to say something, he's like, I know. You can tell he's like, yeah, I understand, but right now we don't have time. We gotta press forward, and
Mhm.
that's just what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like it's crazy. Like, you keep seeing the reaction like I think 3 times throughout this chapter.
At least
Like
three, yeah.
similar. Yeah. It says a lot because it's just like the all these characters are like the ones that actually knows Kaneki, whether it's Sasaki or Kaneki himself, they all bonded with him.
Mhm.
And to see him in that position, and it sucks because I was waiting for a Q Squad reunion with Kaneki. That was something I was waiting for a lot, but then at this condition, no,
But like
definitely.
you weren't
I didn't.
expecting it like this though.
No, not nothing like this. So it sucks that whenever he wakes up, I don't know how long, I don't know when he will wake up, but it won't be now. Maybe if it happens next chapter, I'll be happy. I'll be joy with glee. I will be like shining throughout the stars, whatever. So if it does happen, but if it doesn't happen, then it sucks because I really want to see this reunion. I wanted to see him to come all together with his old family. He was his human side family. It would have been a nice come into full circle, but now it seems like that might be on hold for another day or another year. Depends how long he was going to stay there like that.
Yeah, it really does. And I mean, and again, it ties back into 159 when he said that he was going to go back to the present. So
Mhm.
how long it takes him is, I mean, that's the question of the day. Like, how
How
long is
long
it?
it's going to take us everyone's guess.
Hmm. 1 day, 1 hour, 2 minutes in, 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Hey, can you stop? Can you take off this bag over my face? I really cannot see anything. He's alive. That would have been hilarious. I would love that, but that won't happen.
What would that? I don't know. That feels like a Gintama chapter. Now that I think about it, I would totally
See,
imagine
that
that
would
in
be.
Gintama. Actually,
Can you let go of this bag already?
Sorochi would totally do that. Actually, now that I think about it.
Well, I
Anyway,
forgot what show was it. No, I try to remember. No, I try to remember a show.
mhm.
I think it was The Simpsons, or maybe it was South Park. I remember. It was South Park. It would have been well. That's what makes it eerie because when it comes to dead body, when it comes to corpse, the real thing to do as a professional, as a person who would take care of the job, certified, whether it's police, CCG in this case, they always cover the body because that's very graphic for a lot of people, believe it or not, which is true, and that happens in real life. So when you see that happening in this series, is really grim because you get the feeling that Kaneki is dead or not. But the fact is, they see it as that he is dead. That's what makes it all the more tragic. Now, to lighten the mood, it would have been hilarious if it did the South Park approach if Udi had just carried a body uncovered and everybody would have been screeching like, guys, a dead body. And he's like, what are you doing? You're supposed to cover them up. And instead of covering the body, you cover the person that's screaming. I was like, that's not fixing the problem. What are you doing? That part was funny to me. It's like, what are you doing? Did
Oh
you
my
know this
god, that
kid
part
here?
was
I'm
actually
sorry.
really.
So he covered the kid's face and suddenly covered the body. I'm like, you're not fixing it. That part, that part was hilarious to
That
me.
was
But yeah,
hilarious.
what are you doing, Udi? You're supposed to cover. Oh, sorry. He just I don't know, throw a sheet at Psycho. Sorry about that, Psycho.
But
Mhm.
shortly after this happens, like we see the Kagane blow itself up. That's essentially what happens. It's on self-destruct mode. Just says,
Yeah.
oh, it's like, all right, we've outlived our usefulness, so boom.
Yeah, it's the sci-fi classic of oh crap, our baby mother is dead, so therefore we should explode.
Hmm.
Something like that. That logic of like, oh, no master, we blasted. Something like that.
It's like, no, Master, retreat.
uh,
We can't do this anymore.
yeah, the video game logic as well. Oh, you destroy that core, then we are screwed. Boom.
And that's the thing, like, because when I got to this part, then I'm like, oh, so that's what the chapter title was referring to. I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, because prior to that point, I was in panic mode. I'm like, no, no. Oh, okay. Thanks, Sheeta.
Oh man.
Always a Sheeta pulling this kind of shit. Who else?
It goes without saying. Uri was awesome in this chapter.
He was. He was. Everyone was Psycho. I think Mutsuki did something. I could be mistaken. I think Mutsuki did something too. Toga did something.
Like so Toka and Uri was like trying to pull Kaneki out.
Mhm.
So they couldn't because the damn Kagane was like very tight. So instead, he told Toka to hold Kaneki like backward, and so he could cut the tentacle or sort of Kagane tentacle, whatever. And that's what they did, and then that's how they freed him, and then they just run off like the ending of every Resident Evil game. Exploding, explosion, explosion.
That was fun
But
too.
there is, yeah. Well, there is one part, but I'm going to connect that for the last part, which I'm not sure if you noticed, but if you do notice, then hey, if you haven't noticed, well, it's going to be a little bit of sad news to hear, but we'll see. We'll see how you react. I didn't get to see your video, which I should have. My bad.
Oh no, it's all good. But we see that happening. We come back to camp. Everyone's like, it's entered. It's the collapse phase, and you see Kimi, and you can see that okay, she's not exactly celebrating, but she's like, let's just see what happens. And we see Amon, we see Suzuya, see Akira, and Suzuya asks like, did they manage to retrieve Heise? And then
Interesting, they still call his own name. Anyway, go. That's it. It's interesting. They still call him the name that when he was as a CCG member.
That is interesting, actually. It really is. Oh, and also to note that Kimi says no to what Marde said. But
yeah, and it's like that case of like, yeah, this dragon is gone. You got him out, but we lost a friend.
I know.
I mean,
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's like it's hard to celebrate because you just lost something. It's funny because it's comical yet kind of weird. I just got back from the Gintama chapter, and they said the exact same thing. Well, not too exact, but they pretty much have the same idea. Yeah, people are cheery because they won the war, but there's gonna be people that lost something. For example, we lost a best friend, and that sucks.
It really does.
And now in this series, they did the same thing. They stopped dragging, but they lost a best friend. Sucks.
It really does. Although I said this in my live reaction, I'm like, he's in a coma. Literally.
Well, yeah, he has to be in a coma. He has to. He better be in a coma. Otherwise, I'm not sure why the old cop out moment doesn't apply here.
Seriously,
fall into a coma. Come on, man.
This is the one time I'm like, okay, you can let the coma line apply here. This works.
It makes sense. It will make it. Ironically, it won't make sense if he does die here. Because that would be saying like, so you're telling me you've been swimming to your death? I thought you're not gonna come back to life and pay the price that you have done, because you did kill people before. So you're telling me that you kind of escaped by dying? That would be a weird message.
It's an endless loop. He's stuck in it. If you guys know the reference of the series that I'm talking about, then good for you. But we're seeing Udi walking with Kaneki like wrapped around, and I'm going back to my live reaction on this. I don't know if you thought about this, but I thought back to Route A when Kaneki was carrying Hide.
Yeah, I actually thought that too.
Yeah, so when I saw this, I was like, is that supposed to be symbolic and irony, or because I'm like, that's an interesting take.
Well, yeah, maybe it probably was a reference. You never know. I think it probably was. If not, it's just a hell of a coincidence then.
Right? Who knows? Thus, now we finally get to the main part.
Oh boy.
In the 19th ward, we're seeing, I'm assuming this is a ghoul, obviously, eating a human. And then we see some of the V organization members. So they're still obviously kicking because they gotta be, because, Tokyo Ghoul V. Make the dream come
Just
true.
really hard pressing that title. No, but I don't blame you. That's actually a fitting title to be for the third part.
It is. And I'm assuming anyway that what we're having over here is so people were talking about this, and I didn't realize this until after my live reaction, but they were saying that the humans are turning into ghouls, or these are like ghouls like that are like starving.
Actually, they're right.
Okay.
So if you're still confused about it, I guess I'll explain right now. 19th ward were consisting human before. What you're seeing now is actually humans that turn into a ghoul. So while the main okay, I guess I'll fill in everything now since we're talking about this topic.
Mhm.
So like 19th ward, if you go back to chapter 145, you remember the bed scene in 145?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. There used to be two human. In this chapter, there's one. Now, basically, what we said, basically, it's suggestive that that person just ate that person that used to sleep with that guy.
Oh
Because
yeah.
right now, here's
Okay.
another thing. All right, here's another thing. If you notice in the bottom page, in page 17, the person was saying, "What in these eyes? Why a ghoul will be confusing his own self if he already know he's a ghoul?" So, in other words, that person was human, but he turned to a ghoul, and he doesn't realize that he has become a ghoul. Another thing is that with the whole in the next page, you got the guy that's throwing up. We presume that he has eaten a human food, and now he started throwing up because again the RC level has risen to the highest degree. So now he can't eat human food. Now he has to start eating human, just human. So again, these people are really turning into a ghoul. Now, this is the scary and sad part. You backtrack. We don't know how exactly they turn ghoul, but it's highly subjective is that it was the spores that came from the dragon. Now we backtrack to the early part of the chapter. Do you remember when the Kagane exploded in front of Psycho?
Yeah.
It exploded, but the spores coming out
Mhm.
and it hits her Kagane. And once it did, it started reacting funny. But if you have noticed, she has two Kagugan now.
You're right.
So what that means, if we go by the connection of that theory, well, a highly likely theory, that will only mean one thing. Psycho has become a full-fledged ghoul.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's messed up, honestly speaking.
Huh.
To the fact that she was forced to turn ghoul because of the damn spore, because of how it reacted to her Kagane. If it goes by that, then she's a full-fledged ghoul, which means she can't eat human food again, which that would be very tragic because I don't want to see how she's going to react to that. I mean, she's still a carefree person. And now to see that taken away just because of that symptom, that is horrible.
It is. It really is.
If there's a time skip, please time skip her reaction because I do not want to see it.
No, please. That's the one thing you can skip over. Psycho's carefree. I'd rather we just continue doing that.
So yes, so pretty much 19 War has become a ghoul infested area now, which is insane to think about it because if it takes a spore to turn people into a ghoul in a matter of a second, that will only mean that these people are going to end up killing themselves and wiping their own self because it's practically like zombies, except for they're still living, but the only way to survive is they have to eat human flesh. And even when they finish killing every human, then they have to start eating each other. Cannibalism. Everybody will be full of Kagaja. Everybody will go mental insane, and everybody just kill themselves. That's just insane. And it's all for one part, all for Furuta one scheme, which we'll get to that very soon. But to think that even is the approach is mind-boggling. And
It really
not
is.
to mention, yeah, and not to mention, it finally connects on the 24 War Underground because the confusion I had was those kids, those kids were talking like they're humans, but maybe they were humans,
Yeah.
but they turned to ghoul because of that old dragon, whatever it was. It was that fault. It was that problem that made them into a ghoul, but they still believe they're human, even though they don't know better. They're using Kagane and all that stuff. But the fact that they were human goes to show you that it does connect to what's happening now. So in other words, this is how they become ghoul.
Shit.
It's like, oh yeah, that's the reaction. No, but it's insane. It's
Mind
freaking
blown.
insane.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my god.
It,
That's
mhm.
really crazy. Shit. I can't believe
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna like when I did my live reaction, that I don't know how I glossed over that, but
Like
dude.
I when I've read the first time, I was a little bit confused, especially like with like whole people reactions, the bed scene. I was like a little confused, like, wait. So I kind of I had to go back like a couple of times, and then started to realize, wait a minute, these people are turning to ghouls because the way how that guy reacted, the one that gave away was the guy reacting about the eyes,
That's
because
true. It's true.
again, why would a ghoul to say that to himself if they already are self-aware? Oh yeah, I'm a ghoul. What am I asking myself? I'm so stupid. Instead, it's really like it makes much sense if a human says that because they didn't just realize, wait a minute, why my eyes look like this? It makes sense and it's sad, and it makes more sense with other pictures. Again, you look at the bed scene; it's the exact same one in chapter 145. Except now it's more messed up because the guy probably just has eaten his partner and he still feels like sick for whatever reason. But the point is, a lot of things has changed for the worse. And then we finally get to that major twist. So let's go to it.
Yeah. So the V organization essentially comes across this chrysalis. That's what I'm calling it, and
Yeah,
it
but
bursts,
well, hey, but go on.
and then it
Hey,
just
but
bursts
go on.
open. It just bursts open. Then I'm like, okay. So I don't exactly see who it is because of the hair. I'm like, all right. So it's some ghoul with like really long hair. So I already kind of knew it was like female. I already knew that much. I was like, all right. So who could it be?
Well, it could be a pretty guy.
And then Forta. Here's the thing. This was the part where I was like, Ishida, you mad genius. Oh my god. How did basically the chapter ends? We see Forta just holding the girl and just saying, hello, Rize, my precious dragon. And I lost my shit when I was like, what? You're telling me the whole situation with Kaneki all led to this.
Yep.
Damn.
Oh, wow. Absolutely wow.
hmm
Like all this time. See, here's a funny thing. When I finished reading the chapter, I have a lot of opportunities to go backtrack. So I did. I had to go back every chapter that starting 101 all the way to this point. And I want to see everything lines up well. Because sometimes some manga could be like, oh, whoops, I have timeline mistake. You know what series does that many times? But I digress. Point is, I have to backtrack because if I feel like I either missed something or I feel like I was just being told that my first plan was to have Kaneki as dragon, but yeah, I kind of want to change my mind on that now. But in reality, it was actually been there, and we most likely going to get a full fledged, explanation on how this even happened and why do it this way? But we're gonna get that explanation most likely in the next chapter, especially the previous chapters pretty much talking about these two. And whatever happens there, whatever happens, I guess. But anyway, going back to the older chapter, the one thing the one key part that was kind of like missing out in terms of Furuta's character is his desire with Rize. And it's always been like that since the time of where Eto was talking to Furuta, and it always bothered him to a highest degree. Like it always unnerve him. It always makes him frustrated for some reason. But then we got that 101 chapter. He talks about the entire backstory of him and Rize. He loved her, but when things goes haywire, he's like, you know what? The hell with her. I'm just gonna take her down. Just gonna mess around. Basically, the love story has gone very, very wrong. That's the point of it. But the one thing that was felt like it was either getting neglected it could have been in a back burner was the fact that like his association with Rize. So it felt like okay, everything is gonna start focusing on him being this, like the bureau chief going against the one-eyed king and all that stuff. I guess the whole Rize thing might be discovered much later on. But it turns out it's always been the fact that it's always been the focus for him. That's always been his character. 101 was all revolved with her. Even like again, 101 the chapter 101 is very important. And not because, oh, we got the backstory, but because he drops a lot of hints and clues on what he is aiming for. What's his priority? He even said it himself. His priority was never going to be him. It was always her. It was always been her. So in this case, it actually comes to this once again, a full circle because he finally got that wish. This again, he said himself, this is what he been wanted. This is exactly what he wanted. And the reason why the plan went so smoothly is because everybody was distracted by dragon. Now I'm quoting, they were distracted by that giant dragon that was destroying Tokyo. But that's understandable because that's something that nobody has ever seen. That's everybody's main fear. So Furuta is left alone with V organization, which begs the question, why V organization is cool with this? Why are they cool with this whole dilemma? You would think they would take out Dragon a long time ago, but they didn't. Why did they didn't take them out? They just let the humans and Ghoul united to do the taking out part. So you're telling me they maybe that V organization in the past with the first Dragon, they're the one that actually did that on purpose, and it's just like, let's take it out now. We kind of mess it up there. Or like maybe they find it like, oh shit, whoever done this dragon part is crazy. But I find this fascinating. So if we manage to do it again, I wouldn't mind, instead of, maybe the first time it interests them. So when they take it out, they probably want to find a chance to do the second time. So therefore they like, hey, Furuta has a good idea. Let's give him an opportunity to put that plan into motion. And if it does work, hell, let's keep following him. Let's keep him having his day of triumphant. Is that what I'm seeing from V organization? Because they're sure not taking out Dragon like, oh my god, it's a threat. We should keep peace in together. And so going back to Furuta, his main plan came true because again, everybody was focusing on Dragon. They were focusing on that. So nobody was really looking everywhere else anymore. So if there was no big common enemy, maybe they would have find that egg, crystal, whatever you want to call it, and they'd be like, the hell is this? They probably would have ruined everything. Maybe that's why V organization was taking out the guys that was in the control center, because they probably would have find some weird signal that's coming from that shell. If they did, then the plan would have gone ruined. It would have been bad. But instead, they halted them, they slowed them down, and that's what they came there for, which makes now sense. The only part that still remains is like, why Furuta has a nucleus? Like they say the nucleus was supposed to be the start off for Dragon. That is part of true, but I feel like the whole Kagane craziness was going to happen regardless. Is that the nucleus probably is the one that pretty much makes the egg, which brings out Rize. So maybe the nucleus is Rize. Maybe that's why Rize was started to talking to Kaneki like no longer imagery, but an actual being. Maybe that's why she was started talking to him again at this time. Maybe it was a coincidence. It's like, oh, you're having a major breakdown, so therefore I'm back again. It was more of a, I'm back again. But this time I'm not your imagination, which is probably why it's like, oh, so you calling me your imagination because maybe this is the real deal. Maybe this confirms it now. All this time, Reason was there. But not only because of the nucleus, the old guy, the whole RC cells, the Rinkaku, if I recall the right Kagane form.
I think that's what it was.
Right. I think that helps to make her a reality, make her coming true, so to speak. And remembering the part where Furuta calls Kaneki dragon. But here's the thing. He only said that once. And he said that after the nucleus was eaten. So when it was eaten, he was probably referring to that because that's where Rize lies in. If nucleus is Rize. So once that happened, it's like everything could start working itself out now. And that's why he quits. That's why he gave up the bureau chief, because that no longer concerns him. Even though he didn't expect that Kagane will go that crazy, that no longer concerns him because he doesn't care. The real premise, the real accomplishment that he was going to get is Rize coming to this life. The only question that remains is like if this Rize is supposed to be a newly created life, as he once said to Uri about it. The whole there was a theory that you could create a new life out of the ghoul, out of the Kagane, out of the RC cells. You could create a brand new life. It's not even about bringing back to life somebody. It's about making a new life now. And so that's possible that this Rize is a brand new Rize. Now, the only begs the question, what happened to the other Rize? Maybe the other Rize, the original one, is dead now. Maybe Furata killed her and then brought her back for this experiment. Why? Well, we'll probably find out in the next chapter.
That's actually
So,
kind of
yeah.
true. And you know what's funny, because I like right after this chapter ended, I was doing the same thing. I was like just going back through and just seeing. I'm like, oh wow, like it's
Exactly.
it's great. It's
See, we were fooled because we all believed that it was Kaneki because the way how it was portrayed, the fact that he became this big giant thing, and the fact that it was Furuta that says that line. But in reality, it was all for her.
it was.
And Kaneki was only a vessel. Again, he's only there because he just come by in a coincidence timing. But his focus was never him. It was always her. That's how he rose. That's how he always been. Son of a bitch.
Right? So, and you know what? The other thing you have to look at is when him and we were having that conversation after Kaneki went ballistic. I don't know if we mentioned it in the podcast, but I remember saying that something feels very off about Forta. Like he's kind of going up like he doesn't really care, and I'm like, no, there's gonna be something behind it. And lo and behold, it gets us to this point.
Yeah. Again, sure, he didn't expect the Kagane would go crazy, but that's no longer his concern. It was no longer his business. He doesn't care about that anymore. What he cares is this. This is where he cared the most. This is where he pretty much made it for. Even though he killed many people, even though he had the 19 war becoming ghoul war now, doesn't matter. He's getting his wish for whatever reason. But a lot of questions may be answered in the next chapter. Maybe not everything, but I think we're gonna get a lot more answered. I hope.
Definitely.
This is pretty much the red version of Eto reveal as being the daughter of Yoshimaru Yoshimaru and being the one eye owl, which that was pretty shocking.
It was.
Like,
It
on this
really was.
time, on this time, the author that Kaneki has been fascinated so long is the villain.
I know, and Rude, thanks for very undermining that whole thing. Thanks.
Yeah, that they really downplay every part of that. It was supposed to be a twist. It's supposed to be a very important. Everything was so downplayed. I was like, oh,
Oh, okay, this is supposed to be a big deal, but screw it.
yeah. That was the weird part. It was supposed to be a big deal. So why you still act like a big deal when you already revealed it in the first place?
Exactly. If only the anime got a reboot, honestly. If only. If only Tokyo Ghoul, like the anime, like got scrapped from Studio Period. It's like, nope, we're gonna start from the ground up. Production IG, Studio Bones, Wit Studio, whatever. Somebody.
Madhouse.
Madhouse too.
It's like, all your blood needs is here. Just pour everything out there.
That's all. That's all they need. And instead, we're stuck in this predicament right now with the anime, and I don't know. I'm scared for the anime. I'm really, really scared for the anime right now.
Sad part is the manga will most likely end it before the anime. So we could only have the anime to fill our sadness. I mean, joy.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Unless,
God.
and if Ishida wants to be funny, say part 3 starts in the month of April. So say the anime comes back for like 3 episodes or so, and then Ishida's like, okay, I'm dropping part 3 right now. Here you go. I'm like, oh, thank you. We don't have to deal with this shit. Now, okay, benefit of the doubt, I will still check out the anime because I'm curious to a degree, even though Ruge kind of messed a lot of things up.
You don't say. We're never gonna see the actual fight of Arima versus Kaneki.
I know, and that's disappointing.
Sucks so bad. Yes, so disappointing. We're never gonna see that. Never.
Nope.
The only good thing they ever done is rearrange the arcs from the first series. That's it. That was the only good thing they did. Rearrange the arc.
But see that also begs the question, since they're doing like what happens to Rude now with them doing Re? Because
What
it
is Rude?
doesn't make any sense.
They're gonna scrappy do the crap out of that season. We must never talk about Rude again. That's what they're gonna do in the first episode. So whatever happened to Rude, we must never speak about it. Oh god.
I could see that actually. Wait, did they confirm how many episodes Re was gonna have?
No, not yet. It better be 12 episodes.
No.
End our misery faster. But then again, if it's 12 episodes and they try to cram in every arcs, oh my god.
If I see like the first arc to, I don't know, the auction arc in like 3 episodes, I'm gonna be like, I'm done. No, this isn't happening.
I get the feeling the auction arc would be ended at episode 6.
The sad thing is I can actually see that.
I know. That's what makes it sad. And it's like 31 chapters with a 0.5 included. Oh god.
Let's be a little positive here, not with the anime, but like with just in general. So we get the news that Tokyo Ghoul Re is ending. And this isn't something that's been a surprise to both of us because we kind of had a feeling, given how things have been going.
Wait, it says it's ending, or is it getting a? It says it's ending.
Well, the manga was ending.
I said that. What announcement I missed?
What was it, ending or final arc? I think it was one of the two.
It says final arc.
Okay,
the final arc.
It was in the final arc.
Yeah, that I always sensed it. I always sensed it was to be the final arc because the content was so heavy with a lot of craziness. The fact that you got this dragon taking out Tokyo, and it seems like it's going to take a long time to clean out the mess. So that's screaming for a long time skip. But it's like it's just a lot of things that's placed on the table that says, yeah, we're gonna have a time skip. So we're gonna end it here, okay?
And I mean,
called it right.
Oh, go on.
No, I'm just saying, called it right. Called it.
I know we were both like, this is it, and people were like, no, there's gonna like no, you're gonna get more Tokyo Ghoul, but it's gonna be in part 3. Again, still advocating for V, but who knows?
It's kind of weird that people actually believe that there's no part 3. I'm like, you do realize we have a lot of things to cover. We just got it done with the Ogiri people. That's it. We didn't get it done with V. We didn't get it done with clowns. We still have a lot of things to fill.
No. If anything, V and the clowns are like probably the only things you got left to do. And then,
but that's itself is gonna take a while.
Yeah, at least I would say probably. Yeah, no, I don't know if they would do a part 4, but definitely within part 3. I can say that definitely part 3.
It's a perfect trilogy if you do part 3. If you do part 4, well, it kind of ruins the trilogy, now would it? It does. So I would prefer to just end it at 3.
3 would be perfect, actually. Really perfect. It is. You got the beginning, you got the middle, and the end. You got the well. It'd be weird to use Star Wars terms, but like it's like the originals, like A New Hope, and then literally this is like Empire Strikes Back for Tokyo Ghoul.
Well, let's hope the Return of the Jedi Tokyo Ghoul version won't be too cartoony. Oh, we're so friendly with the baby ghoul. Dolly, dolly, Yay. Oh, by the way, dark stuff happening. Oh, crap. And the little baby ghouls are kicking ass because merchandise.
It's like I did it for the toys, for the kids.
Why won't you kill Rize? I won't kill him. I won't kill her. Sorry. I won't kill her. I'm like, I am a ghoul. Like the I want to say mother, but Riza is not her mom. Before me. Kaneki Ken, you will die. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you know where I'm getting this from. Mother. And then Riza reacts, throws Furuto to the abyss. She dies because Star Wars did it. And then I don't know. I'm done.
That'd be funny, actually. That doesn't happen.
Dragon will be Dragon will be the Death Star of the series. So it will happen twice.
Oh boy.
The big giant Kagane, it will be the Death Star of the series.
Shit.
You know, the funny thing is, I was actually afraid at one point when Dragon happened before in 145. But like,
Hmm.
it would be weird if you start seeing everybody doing it.
Oh my god, you're right.
Because, it'd be weird because, shonen logic, you got to stay the same power length. So here we go. Everybody got Dragon. Everybody can do the giant Kagane form. Boom.
Have a weird kaiju battle happen.
It'll be destroy all monsters for Tokyo Ghoul style.
I remember like we made the joke about like Godzilla showing up.
Well, if Godzilla did show up, it would have taken care of the entire situation in this series. It would have been like, oh, there you go. Series ended.
Tokyo
See,
Ghoul would
we
have
didn't
became
need
like the new Metropolis.
to. We didn't need to worry about finding Kaneki. All you do is call Godzilla, and then you just take care from there. Boom! Look at that laser breath, whatever you want to call it, and that's
Mhm.
it. Oh boy, next chapter is coming soon, really soon. It's very close to the end, and very close to the next chapter.
Mhm.
Not sure what to expect, but I got a lot of bad feeling about this one.
I will say this, guys. I do believe we are ending with the current volume we're on, and I know some people are like, "Well, but 3 or 4 chapters." I'm like, look, this isn't shonen. This isn't Kishi we're talking about, or even though I appreciate Bleach, but Kubo, it's not like that situation where it's like, oh my god, how are we gonna wrap everything up in 3 or 4 chapters? Because look at what Ishida is able to do within one volume. He can do so much. He can. So when you look at Tokyo Ghoul Re and you're looking at where we're at right now, relatively speaking, you could end Tokyo Ghoul Re within 3 chapters. It's definitely possible. And to mention something, we still haven't seen Eto. That's the important thing. Eto is still a mystery.
I still believe she will come back. Maybe she will appear in the next part, not in here anymore.
I can
But
see that.
again, I do think she will come back when the V organization becomes the main focus, which will happen in the next arc. But not next arc. Maybe next arc, but doubt it. I do think the next part, that's where they begin to be the main focus.
Hmm.
Because again, there's no more human versus ghoul clashing. I mean, they probably still, but not in the sense of a big terrorist group versus a big organization group.
No, it's not gonna be
Probably
like
don't
that.
have that take anymore. It's kind of like I was talking to Lucky Chi about it early on, saying like, maybe we'll have a time skip, and then when we have a time skip, there'll probably be a lot of different changes. Like one of the changes I think is like maybe CCG will still remain, but they will have a different policy. Maybe it's like, oh, we found a ghoul, kill him. And maybe it'd be like, we found a ghoul, but he's not killing anybody. Let's spare him,
I can totally see
Maybe.
that.
I don't know. Maybe they would be more tolerable. Maybe they will be a little bit more much less strict. Depends who's taking over, but I don't know. We'll see. I feel like that could happen. Depends on who'd be the bureau chief. It really depends.
Hmm. On the bureau chief, there's a lot of
I
candidates
mean,
you can choose
Master. Yeah. I mean, Master is still there, but I don't know if they will allow him to go back. Maybe, but depends how he is. He probably might not go back. He probably will start chasing after V organization as he hinted earlier. He seems like he wanted to outright get payback on them. I don't know. The only if anything, I think Uri could be the one. Not Uri, but Uri,
True.
the guy that used to work for Furuta.
Yeah, like I could see that.
It's possible.
Hmm.
It's a lot to think of.
A
But we
lot.
gotta see how the next chapter. Yeah, but we gotta see the next chapter. Next chapter is gonna be very important.
It
Not
it
only because
is.
we got, not only because we got Furuta and Rize in one setting, and even though that's still important because we need to figure out how exactly Furuta made this happen and why. But we also need to find out about Kaneki, his status. I feel like maybe it might be hold for another chapter. I hope not, but even though the next chapter will be crucial because reasons, but I'm still hoping we do get the little bit more insight of Kaneki because I really wanted to know what's his situation.
Oh
But
yeah,
we'll see
same
what
here.
happens.
Definitely.
All I'm saying is this: next couple of chapter, very important. Do not ignore. Even though we don't do that, but still, do not ignore.
No, do not. Not in the slightest.
Not one bit, not one panel, not one tiny scrape of a page. None.
Mm-hmm. A lot to think about, guys. A lot to think about. Trying to think, is there anything else we can talk about? Because I feel like we covered almost everything.
I believe so. I feel again. I'm just gonna wait for the next chapter to get my some of the answers to fill in, especially with the whole Rize. Is it like it's supposed to be like a brand new Rize, or it's supposed to be a Rize that comes from the memory of the original, or the memory of Kaneki's imagination or former imagination? Which
Mhm.
is it? Because if it's the former, then what did that mean? Rize would be like rebellion against the V organization as well as Furuta, especially he is the cause of it.
That's what I would think anyway.
Yeah. So it
If
should
they're
be.
going that
I
route.
mean, it's not. Let's not forget. She does know that. She does know it was Furuta. So there's
Mhm.
that. She
True.
knows. She knows it was Furuta that put her to into this misery of hell since chapter one. So we'll see. We'll see.
We will definitely see indeed. So, that being said, guys, that is pretty much it. Sparta, it was really great having you on board again for a Tokyo Ghoul podcast, especially with how long it's been since we did the last one.
Oh, definitely. It's great to come back again. Even though the series is coming to an I keep saying the series. See, people got me into this. The series is ending. The series is ending. Part of the
Re-ending.
series is ending. The part of a series, the chapter of a series is ending. Yes. But not the entire series, not the entire franchise, not the entire saga. Just part of it. But yeah, even though that's ending, I'm pretty sure we will come back with another podcast. But in the meantime, we're gonna still fill in for the with podcast for Tokyo Ghoul Re until the very end. Whatever it's 2 chapters to go, 3 chapters to go, we'll see. We'll see. But it's been a hell of a ride.
It really has. Especially since it's been like, I think already a year? That's been a year since we've been doing these? I think.
A year. Yeah, I think it's a year.
I think
I
it's been a
believe
year.
it's a year. Yeah, it's a year. It should
Yeah,
be a year.
I think it's been a year. I could be wrong about that, but I know it's been 1 year since we've been doing this, so crazy.
But yeah, I know,
That
right?
long.
Time flies, or times either time flies or times yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's strange. It's been a strange couple of years that we've been having.
It has. And like Sparta said, just because Tokiguri's ending does not mean the podcasts are going to end. Because I'll drop the announcement right now. Whenever the movie does drop on Blu-ray, we are going to do not a couple. We could do a commentary on that, but that would take a lot of work. But definitely a podcast over the movie. That's gonna happen. I can guarantee that much.
Yes. That's definitely going to happen. I have the opportunity. I had the opportunity to see that movie, but I didn't go for it because actually I don't know the reason behind that. Probably because the tight schedule. It's probably that. If nothing else, it's probably just me being a fool, not taking this chance to go for it. But I'm definitely going to take a chance when it comes out on Blu-ray. When it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm definitely going to check it out myself and see because I have heard good things. Believe it or not, I have heard good things. Like, it's actually one of the better live action adaptation movie. It's not like Attack on Titan, thank God.
Oh,
It's not it's not like, I don't know, whatever you could name anything that's actually a bad adaptation
Death
movie.
Note.
American one, yeah, you're right. The Japanese one was good though. I
It
like
was.
it. Even
It
though
was. Japanese one was good.
the CG was weird, but whatever. That's something I'm used to by now. But the movie itself was good, in my opinion. There were two
Yeah.
parts as well. They connected, but still, they were good. Death Note, the American version, even with a better effect, it's not good.
No.
It's not good at all. I have yet to see Fullmetal Alchemist. I have no idea what to expect. But again, Tokyo Ghoul, I have heard good things. That's a good sign. That's something that we need to hear once in a while. It may not say a lot as to say, oh, this movie could be Oscar nominee. Well, maybe we're never gonna think that way. But
I'd be
point
surprised if
is,
that's what happened.
if one day in the future when we're not alive. But yeah, we're definitely going to cover something like that in the podcast in the future. So definitely, we're not leaving anytime soon.
No. No, of course not. So, That being said, everyone, that's pretty much it. I'm Lucky G7,
Sparda3g.
and we will catch you guys next time. And I promise the next podcast will not be, well, it won't last as long as it did with this one. So, catch you next time. Peace.